You know the constant hum of worry about screens. By the end of the day, you are completely exhausted, and asking your child to turn off the iPad triggers another nightly meltdown. It is draining, and it feels like you are losing a battle you never actually signed up for. To fix this, we are looking at the research of Dr. Jacqueline Nesi, who studies adolescent development and technology. Her work explains why tech arguments are so volatile and identifies the specific needs driving your child's behavior. Over the next few minutes, we are going to build a customized, written screen time action plan. The goal is to replace the spontaneous yelling and frustration with a strategy you've documented in advance. The first goal is moving away from a reactive mindset and toward a documented strategy that accounts for these digital stressors before the next argument starts. Step 1. Grab a piece of paper. Before we set a single rule, write down one core need your child is trying to fulfill when they pick up that phone or controller. This checklist illustrates the biological drives of a developing brain. Between the ages of 10 and 20, teenagers go through a period of massive physical and cognitive growth. They are biologically wired to seek out high-stimulation exploration, to secure their social status, and to figure out their identity. Modern technology developers understand these drives perfectly. Features like endless scrolling, variable rewards, and multiplayer lobbies tap directly into these deep-seated biological requirements for connection and excitement. Recognizing these biological drives provides the necessary context for setting effective boundaries. The first component of your plan is scheduling a daily warmth deposit. A warmth deposit is dedicated time to connect with your child without correcting their behavior. This means spending a few minutes watching a silly TikTok they like, having a tech-free family meal, or just listening to them talk about a game. This visual represents your relational bank account. These positive, non-judgmental interactions act as deposits that build mutual trust over time. You are storing up goodwill. Without this foundation of warmth, your discipline has nothing to stand on. If your primary interactions are just commands to turn off the computer, your child will perceive any new rules as a personal attack. With trust established, you can move to drafting the actual rules. You are going to write these collaboratively with your child. Look at this split-screen comparison. Vague instructions fail because they leave room for interpretation. You need highly specific boundaries that clearly define exactly how much time is allowed and under what conditions. Sit down together and co-write these rules. You will bring your absolute deal breakers to the table, like keeping phones out of the bedroom at night. But you also leave room for negotiation on the smaller details, like which specific games they play. Giving your child a voice in the rulemaking process addresses their need for independence. When they help build the structure, their instinct to push back against it drops significantly. The final part of the strategy is establishing predefined consequences for both following and breaking your newly agreed-upon rules. This grid breaks down the behavioral science of operant conditioning. Positive reinforcement means adding a reward for good behavior, like extra weekend screen time for doing chores early. Negative punishment means taking a privilege away, like losing phone access for breaking a rule. But here is a critical warning. When your child throws a meltdown over the tablet, your attention, even yelling or lecturing, lands right here in the positive reinforcement quadrant. To a frustrated child, any attention is a reward. When you lose your temper, you are unintentionally rewarding the behavior you want to stop. Clear, calm consequences are the alternative. Finally, write down a calm transition protocol for the hardest part of the day, turning the screens off. Turn off autoplay in the settings, provide a strict 5-minute verbal warning, and stick to it. Before you execute this plan, you need to understand the extinction burst. This graph tracks a psychological phenomenon where tantrums temporarily get much worse immediately after you enforce a new, firm boundary. This spike happens because your child is trying harder to elicit your old reactive response. If you hold firm, the behavior eventually stops. Hold the line. You can validate their frustration, tell them you know it's hard to stop playing, but absolutely refuse to give in to the escalation. Keep your tone flat and neutral. When the meltdown escalates on day 1, it is not a sign that the rules have failed. That spike is the clearest psychological evidence that the new system is actually working. Take a look at your completed worksheet. You are no longer winging your discipline strategy based on how tired you feel at 8 o'clock at night. you now have a fully comprehensive system. You are actively depositing warmth to build trust, you have specific collaborative rules on paper, and you have calm, predefined consequences that refuse to reinforce bad behavior. Take this framework to your child tonight. Sit down, co-write the rules together, and prepare yourself to hold absolutely firm through that initial extinction burst. Navigating the modern digital age is difficult, but with the right tools, you can move past nightly crises and proactively shape a home environment where your children can act